Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Patricius Juandono, and today I'm going to talk about writing, especially academic writing. Now, this topic is about how to organize your ideas and rhetorical patterns. Now, what is rhetorical patterns and how to write according to the rhetorical patterns? Okay, let's dive to my presentation.
Okay, people, so this is the topic for today, patterns in writing. In Indonesian language, of course, it is pola-pola penulisan ilmiah dalam bahasa Inggris. So we are going to learn how to organize your ideas in your writing so that your paper is going to be a good academic paper. Okay, so first of all, I'd like to define what rhetorical patterns are. Rhetorical patterns are simply how ideas are organized in your writing. So you can look at this picture. You have ideas going on in your mind. So you have lots of ideas, but they are not organized yet. They are not organized yet. They are still just wild ideas, yeah, coming to your mind. And so you have lots of ideas in your mind. Now, if you are going to compose an academic paper, you will have to organize these ideas. And the way you organize the ideas is called rhetorical patterns. Okay, now let's go to the rhetorical patterns themselves. So this is definition. The first rhetorical pattern is called definition. In the definition, you define a concept or an object and then you give examples. So, see, this is how it works. So you define a concept first and then you give examples. Yeah. And the second rhetorical pattern is called general specific. Now, what is general specific? This is where you have to present a general idea. See, the word general is very important here. General idea. And then as you write more and more, you will write about more specific ideas. So you go from general idea first, and then you present or you write about more and more specific ideas. From general to a more and more specific ideas. Okay, this is the second rhetorical pattern. Now the third rhetorical pattern is called comparison. Comparison is you write about object A and then you compare it to object B. This is you compare two objects or two things or two concepts. Yeah. Okay. In problem solution, first you write about the problem and then you write about the solutions to the problem. Okay, so these are four types of rhetorical patterns. First is definition, second is general specific, third is comparison, and fourth is problem solution. So you can use these rhetorical patterns in order to organize the ideas in your mind so that when you write an essay, other people who read your essay will easily understand your ideas because they are now organized. Okay, yeah, now let's start with an example. I'm going to give you an example of each rhetorical pattern. Definition. Now this is the rhetorical pattern of definition. See, toxic waste is a material that is no longer used and can cause danger to human beings and their environment. Now this is the very first sentence is a definition. Toxic waste here is something, is an object, and then you have the definition. Material that is no longer used and can cause danger to human beings and their environment. And of course, you have to explain more. So you write chemical substance in batteries and radioactive waste from hospital equipment are examples of toxic waste. So usually when you write this kind of rhetorical pattern, First you define and then you give examples. Easy, right? Okay. Yeah. Now, what about general specific? Now, general specific, you start with a general idea, and then as you write more and more, you will write more and more specific idea. Now, let's see. Modern society is busy developing new products and growing their businesses. This is still general. See, you start with a very general idea about modern society. Yeah. And then you write on. In doing so, they are vulnerable to stress. Now you talk about stress, a bit more specific. Stress is caused by too much thinking and lack of rest. One particular type of stress is anxiety. Now you begin to touch on a more specific idea. Stress is still general. Now you come to a more specific item, which is anxiety. Okay, yeah. This is marked by constant fear and worries that something bad may happen. Now you talk a bit more about anxiety. You talk about a more specific thing, which is anxiety. So that is from general to specific. You start with something general, and then as you write more and more, you will explain more and more specific terms. Okay. Now, what about comparison? Now, traveling is a fun activity that can refresh the mind and body. Some people like traveling alone, while others prefer traveling with friends. Now, starting from the second sentence, you have addressed or you have stated a comparison, traveling alone and traveling with friends. Now, you have just started comparing two different activities. One is traveling alone, the other is traveling with friends. When traveling alone, one decides where and when to go and does not have to be bothered by their partner's different choices. This is the advantage or the feature of traveling alone. And then you immediately uh, go on or continue with traveling with friends because now you compare the two activities. Okay, so you write, however, traveling with friends will obviously be helpful when one runs into troubles or accidents because there will always be friends who can help. See, now you compare traveling alone to traveling with friends. And so, yes, of course, you can continue more and more. You can continue this further. Uh, but the essence or the important point here is that you compare the two things. Okay. Now, the final one is problem solution. See, this is the example. Depression affects millions of people around the world. People suffering from depression have to struggle with their work, and usually they have difficulties in forming relationship with others too. Recently, a group of researchers in England have recommended a technique which is a mix of traditional yoga and biochemical medication to cure depression. See, this is the first you state the problem about depression. Depression is a problem, and you say a little bit more about depression. Yeah, you write that it makes difficulties in forming relationship, and it also troubles the sufferers when they have to work, etc., etc. And then you come to the solution. This is the solution. The solution is a group of researchers in England have come up with a technique which is a mix of traditional yoga and biochemical medication. So first you present the problem and then you give the solution. Okay? Yeah. Yep. Keep writing and good luck. Stay safe, stay healthy. Goodbye.